I wanted to get your take on the Linda Yaccarino news. This is F4. So she actually resigned as the CEO of X today after 2 years and said, when Elon and I first spoke of his vision for X, I knew it would be the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm immensely grateful to him for entrusting me with the responsibility of protecting free speech, turning the company around, and transforming X into the everything app. And goes on to say, I'll be cheering you all on as you continue to change the world. Yaccarino came in and was expected, and I think was clearly at least better on the question of content moderation than what had been seen previously at X. She was an Elon ally, obviously. And correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but 2 years ago is about when Twitter file stuff started happening. Is that timeline correct?
So she came in right as the Twitter files were ending.
Okay. Okay.
And
did you have any interaction with her? Did you have an impression of her at all?
I didn't. So I was being shown the door right around the time Linda came in, and there was some criticism within the social media world landscape that she had been brought in to help bring ads back to the platform by basically reinforcing some of the standards that the previous regime had done, which includes suppressing certain kinds of content that people don't want to see next to ads. So she was thought of as kind of an industry villain coming on the way in. But from what I understand, she ended up in a lot of internecine arguments with Elon, which probably isn't a surprise to anybody. And that announcement that you just read from, to me, that's just one big phew, like I'm out of here. So it's interesting, this arc that Elon's on. He's become this incredibly fascinating character in American history, and it's not clear whether he's fully in control of anything right now. Or whether this is strategic, who knows? You never know with him. He's genuinely hard to read.
Well, actually, that's kind of interesting because, again, like you were sort of, you had some contact with him throughout your reporting on the Twitter files and found him, I think maybe the best word is to be sort of capricious. Is that right?
Yeah, he was just, you always want to try to size up people who are giving you information and try to understand what their motives are, what they want out of the relationship, whether they're doing it for altruistic reasons or whether out of self-interest or whatever. But with Elon, it was impossible to tell what he really wanted out of the Twitter files. He did say that he wanted to bring back some credibility to the platform by being open about the old practices that had gone on there, but he would change his mind, on at the drop of a hat. You would be having a cheerful conversation with him in 1 minute, and then it would turn dark in the next. And I'm someone that I pride myself in being able to try to read people, and I had no idea what was going on with him. So I'm probably not alone in that department. So as other people have said the same thing, but he is incredibly energetic. There's no question about that, and he manages to do quite an awful lot every day. So that's fascinating.
Well, yeah, it's worth mentioning as well that this happened on the heels of the absolute Grok meltdown. That as recklessly, I think, as the term anti-Semitism gets thrown around, what Grok has been doing in the last 24 to 48 hours is just like abject anti-Semitism. I
haven't even heard that. What's going on? Oh, really?
It's so wild. Like it's just responding to like people with Jewish names and saying every damn time. It's just like, oh my gosh. Dark stuff. So I wonder if your point about Yaccarino being someone from the industry who wanted to bring ads back to the platform, then she's like, I'll never be able to go anywhere else after Grok doing this, after what's happening with Musk. And on that note, Matt, we have a question. Our team sent along a question from Ronald Jacobs in the YouTube chat who says, Matt, what is the current state of social media censorship? Do you see a future where Google or Facebook roll back their content moderation? We've seen a bit of that. Do you think that's the sort of permanent trajectory, or is that going to flip again?
I think that's what the companies would prefer to do. And, we saw all of the platform heads at Donald Trump's inauguration, and a lot of people were wondering, well, what's going on with that? Why are they suddenly making this political display? And to me, the answer is pretty simple, that we've seen with Trump's executive orders and with J.D. Vance's speeches that the United States is putting an enormous premium on trying to throw off sort of the shackles of European sort of content standards that are imposed by laws like the Digital Services Act or the Online Safety Act in England, the Online Harms Act. And what Mark Zuckerberg said is that we can't do anything about that stuff without the help and the backing of the United States government. And I think they would prefer not to have to, abide by all of these foreign speech codes and even our own informal ones. But they need the backing of our government in order to stand up to those countries. So, yeah, I think there is a future where that could happen. The problem is that the Trump administration hasn't been great on this issue, frankly, right? Like they're not organizing a centralized digital censorship operation the way, as was being planned previously, but they haven't been great either. So, we'll see. I still have hope for it. It's you.
It's a strange dichotomy of like Secretary Rubio on the one hand getting rid of the GAC, the Global Engagement Center, and then on the other, the administration is pulling Rumeysa Ozturk off the street for an op-ed. It's a really bizarre juxtaposition.
Yeah, and using AI to scan social media postings to make determinations about whether or not a person is they're worthy of being let into the country. It's kind of exactly the same thing we didn't want to see from old Twitter. It's algorithmic analyses and for use in shadow banning, right? So yeah, it's weird, but it is what it is.